Hey, this is Kristin from KristinCoaching.com. Today in this video, we are going to be talking about controlling spouses and what that looks like. We need to know the signs of being in a relationship and what it feels like to be controlled. I think a lot of times when we're in that type of a relationship, we don't really know when we're in it. We can be so kind of convoluted and confused with all the muck that's going on that a lot of times a lot of women, especially when they're in relationships, they don't even know that they have controlling spouses, or even if they do know, they're not sure what to do. So this video really has to do with more emotional control. If you at all are being physically hurt in your relationship, if your partner is hitting you, punching you, kicking you, biting you, shoving you, anything physical, that is not okay. That is 100% not healthy. It's not safe. And you should not be in that type of a relationship. So I really want to preface that first and get this piece really honed in on so you understand that there are things that you can do. There's domestic violence shelters, there's hotlines that you can call. You have to go somewhere safe. If you're in a relationship that your physical body is being compromised, that is not okay. So I really want you to know that and understand that you can do things to make you be safe now. Now, if you are in a controlling relationship where it's not physical, that's also more so what we're going to be exploring today, because I think it's important that people know the signs of having a controlling spouse and the ways that their spouse does control them. We're really just kind of shedding some light on this topic today, and really get that self-awareness going on in your relationship so you can see that you're not in a healthy one. And that's the point of this video, and that's really what I want to help you with today, so you understand that your relationship is not essentially a good one for you. So one of the first signs of having a controlling spouse or being in a controlling relationship is that your spouse doesn't trust you. There's a lot of jealousy, and your spouse doesn't have a reason not to trust you. A lot of times in that type of a controlling environment, our other half wants to know, where have you been? Who have you seen? What have you done? And sometimes even monitors, where you went and how long you were there for. So if you're feeling like there's this energy that your partner is kind of tracking where you've been all day, every day, and you don't have that trust on his piece, that's a sense of control, and that's not a healthy place to be in. Okay? Not at all. We need to be able to be independent and do our things and have our partner's trust where we go and not need to be monitoring that or questioning that. So that's really important. And then another piece, and it's a really common piece when our spouses are controlling, is the sense of isolation. So if your spouse is saying, I don't like your friends, I don't like your family, and makes comments towards them and essentially, sometimes spouses can say, I don't want you to see your friends or family. That's definitely a very blatant way of isolating you. But also just doing those little comments where to you feel that, oh, I don't want to see my family. Like, you're right. My family does this or my friends do that. And then so you make excuses not to hang out with them or not see them over time. That can be a sign that you're definitely being manipulated. And controlling spouses tend to do that. They tend to kind of plant the seed about negative things and people that are in your life, so you feel that you're making the decision not to hang out with them. But in reality, it's manipulation, and it's a way that your partner can be controlling for you. So if you're not hanging out with your friends or family as much and you're in this relationship, that's definitely a red flag and a warning sign that you could be being controlled. So that's not good. Another sign is financial control. If your partner is monitoring what you spend money on and how much, and is making comments about that, that's not a good thing. You need to be independent. You're your own woman. You're doing your own thing. It's not like, obviously in any type of a marriage, yes, you don't want to be spending like all your money and being not accountable for things, especially if you have bills and housing expenses or car notes or whatever that is. But if your other half is tracking, little things that you're spending on and questioning that, it can be a sign of definitely being in a controlling relationship. And again, that's not healthy to do. Another thing is if you're feeling like your spouse is criticizing you and that you feel like you are not good enough and that you can't do anything right, and there's just a lot of critiques on what you do and how you do it, that brings your self-esteem down, and it makes you feel low, and it makes you feel that you're not worthy and you're not good enough. And that's definitely a sign of a controlling husband, because it's a way to manipulate your mind and bring that self-esteem down every single day, where you feel that, oh, I just don't deserve anything better. So it's definitely something to be aware of. Also, if you're feeling that you're guilty, if you're feeling really guilty a lot of the time, again, it kind of has to do with, I just can't do anything right, or you're making mistakes and your other half is getting mad at you all the time for that. That's not good, because in any type of a relationship, there isn't just going to be one person that makes the mistake. That's not what happens. In any relationship, both people are not perfect. Both people have errors. So if one person is doing the one that's always pointing it out on the other, and you're not pointing it out on the other person, or you're feeling like you can't say anything, that's not a reciprocal relationship. You have to have the sense of partnership together, and mutual respect for each other, and mutual understanding, and being able to be comfortable bringing up things that you don't like about your other half and your other half doesn't like about you. But if one person is just doing it towards you, that is not a healthy situation to be in, and definitely a red flag that you have a controlling husband or a controlling partner. If your partner is accusing you of, doing things that you're not doing, especially cheating, that can be really common. That can be a sign that it's an emotional control as well. If you are guilty until proven innocent, that's not a healthy relationship to be in, and something that you should not do. Also, if your spouse is not listening to you, and this is a really common one. So if you guys are having an argument and your spouse always thinks that he is right and you are wrong, and no matter what you say, he is trying to make you see his point of view and he's not willing to see your point of view, that is a problem. Again, in any healthy relationship, we want to make sure that we have collaboration and we have partnership. And a way to manipulate is to get you to be able to see his point of view, but he never takes the time to see, your point of view. And so you're constantly just kind of, losing the battle over and over and over again, of where you're just automatically like, oh yes, you're right, I see your point, so therefore I'm wrong. And that's not what it is. In any fight or argument, you are supposed to have two sides and two varying opinions. You don't necessarily need to even agree with one another. You just have to understand where the other person's coming from. But if he's not taking the time to understand where you're coming from, that can be very unhealthy. And that's not a sense of partnership, and that's not okay. And so it's just something that I really want to point out, because I know a lot of relationships are kind of like that, where one person really dominates his opinion, and therefore the other opinion just kind of, fizzles out and isn't important. And it is important. And your opinion is important, and you should have a partner who listens to your opinion and values that and takes the time to really see your point of view, or else that shows that he's not respecting you. And again, in any type of a healthy relationship, we want our partners to be able to respect us and know that we are an essential part of the relationship ultimately. Again, we want to feel that we are on an equal playing field. If you feel your other half is here and you are down here, that is an unhealthy situation to be in, and that is definitely a sign that you are being controlled in your relationship or dominated emotionally in some way. And I don't want you to be in that anymore. And it's important to see these signs as they come up. If you're just not feeling good enough, if you're feeling like you're always doing things wrong and you're making mistakes, and especially if he's criticizing, oh, I don't like you in that skirt, or I don't like you in that dress, or why don't you change, you're showing too much cleavage, or I want you to show more cleavage, or whatever it is. If you're feeling like, again, no matter what you're doing, it's not right, and that you're constantly, disappointing your spouse, that could be a sign of emotional manipulation. So it's really important that you see that. Also, the last thing I just want to point out that some women experience is they don't have that sense of alone time. A lot of times in controlling dominant relationships is your other half doesn't want to give you that one-on-one time for you. And as women, we really need that time. We need independent time. We need time to go and get a massage. We need that time to hang out with our girlfriends. We need that time to get out of the house and just go for a walk by ourselves. So if you're feeling like you cannot get that alone time, it can be because he's not letting you get that alone time. And there's a reason why that's happening. I really just want to make this video to show you that and really hone in on the fact that relationships are partnerships. And again, if you're not feeling equal in your relationship and you're feeling like he's kind of dominating things and dominating how you feel and dictating how you feel and kind of just controlling the situation a lot, those are really big red flags and just something that you pay attention to. So I really just wanted you to be aware of that and shed some light on this topic, because again, a lot of times when we're in it, we don't know how much we are in it until we can kind of take a step back, see these warning signs and go, oh my God, I really am I really do have a controlling spouse. So I need to do something about that. And I definitely encourage you to do something about that. The first part of the battle is recognizing it. The second part is taking action so you're not in this type of a situation anymore, because it's not a healthy relationship to be in if you are not feeling in any way that you are not an equal partner in your relationship. So please write questions if you have them or comment below. I'll be happy to get back to you on that. And I will definitely see you for my next video. Thank you for listening. Bye.